and still I rise. And I rise today in the name of government of the people, by the people, for the people. I rise today because our country is nearing a moment of decision. I rise because we are at the intersection of democracy and autocracy. I rise to announce that at this moment in time, I have filed
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Just let me stop there. That man said, I rise for democracy. I rise for this. I rise for this. Is there at any point you're going to rise? You're going to rise for the successful mission of taking out a potential threat to America. At any point, Representative Al Green, public servant Al Green, pro-American Al Green, at any point is you're going to rise for, at any point is you're going to rise for the safety of the American people and the American way of life. At any point is that what you're going to rise for. But you know me, y'all. I'm always digressing. I have to, because I will go on a rant for these fools. They ridiculous and destroying black culture. But let me digress. Let's finish this out, y'all.
Res 537. Res 537 is a privileged resolution. Res 537 has been filed because I believe that the President of the United States has committed an impeachable act. Res 57 addresses abuse of presidential powers by disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into an authoritarian government, usurping congressional power to declare war. Mr. Speaker, I take no delight in what I'm doing. I do this because I love my country. I do this because I understand that the Constitution is going to be meaningful or it will be meaningless. I do it.
Really, Congressman Al Green, come on, brother, man. All right.
Because I understand that the President of the United States of America has a duty to consult Congress before taking this country to.
I tell you what, it doesn't come before his duty to protect this country and to protect our liberties. I bet you that. I bet you if he have a duty to consult Congress, I bet you it comes after his duty to protect the American way of life and the American people. I guarantee. And if it don't, then we need some amendments, brother. But let's let you finish.
War. I do it because no one person should have the power to take over 300 million people to war without consulting with the Congress of the United States.
I don't see 300 people gathering up for war. Matter of fact, as of this video's being recorded, a ceasefire has been initiated, violated, and reinitiated by our great president, Donald J. Trump. And matter of fact, after I'm done with this video, I'm gonna do another video on the ceasefire, the violation thereof, as well as the recommitment to the ceasefire. If this is not a president, I don't know what you call it. You eliminate a security threat, get a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. They disobey the ceasefire. You stand on both of their neck, get them recommitted, get them back to the negotiating tables. Absolutely 100%. Making, for the first time in all of our history of living, this is the closest we came to the possibility and the potential of peace in the Middle East, hence around the world. Like, but I'm glad only one man has the power to do that, because obviously when other men had the power, they didn't have the balls to do it. So maybe if you give several men, you tend to get nothing done. Maybe you take one man with all the cojones to do it, to get it done. Now America's safer, America's better. And you should be ashamed of yourself calling this an impeachable offense. The fact that you are impeaching President Trump should be an impeachable offense. The fact that you are trying to impeach our president for doing his duty in assuring the safety of the American way of life and the American people, you impeaching him for doing his duty, to me seems like a delegation of your duty. You should be congratulating him and supporting him, and here you impeaching him. To me, that's an impeachable offense, with all due respect, brother. But you know me, Big Meaty, I always digress. Let's go.
Of America. I do this because if I do not, this authoritarian president that we currently have will continue to assume power. He has already instigated an assault on the citadel of democracy, the capital of the United States of America. He went so far as to pardon the persons who were actually involved in the assault.
See, this is what I mean by the Trump derangement. Like, this brother is so disillusioned that we just, oh my God, we just achieved something great for the security of America and American way of life. And this dude talking about things that occurred January 6, 2020. And you talking about him pardoning those people that are responsible for the insurrections, or you guys want to call it insurrections, of the 2020 election. This is what, are you impeaching him for not consulting with Congress before he committed an act of war, or are you impeaching him for what happened in January 6th? That just shows you the disillusion of these people. Like, they're not even focused. Like, they can't even stay focused on their objective. Like, they gotta just whirl off. They just gotta swirl off. They just gotta get out of their lane. They should get back in their lane, man. Get back in y'all lane, man. If you're gonna, all right, I'm gonna let him finish, y'all, because I know y'all don't want this to be no long video either, listening to this crap.
He has denied persons due process of the law. I believe that if we do not take immediate action, this authoritarian president will not only devolve the country into authoritarianism, I believe he is a would-be dictator who would become a dictator. So I today announce that later today, I will bring these articles of impeachment to the floor, and I will call for a vote. I believe that the hour of decision is upon us, and we all have to decide. Are we going to go down and choose the path of democracy, or we allow ourselves to choose the low road of autocracy? I believe that this country has come too far to allow a single person to declare war without conferring with the Congress of the United States of America. This is where I stand. This is what I will do. And I do it in the name of my country that I love dearly. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.
States admitting that he unilaterally brought the United States into a war without congressional approval is a very grave public admission. It is illegal, it is unconstitutional, and so for me, while the president is posting something,
I mean, like, come on, y'all. Like, where's the act of war? This was a military strategic attack on a possible threat to America's security. This wasn't an act of war. We didn't declare war with Iran. We just denied Iran the nuclear capacity to hurt America and our allies, Israel. Any other ally we have in the Middle East. Like, we're not declaring war. We want to get back to the negotiating tables with you guys. Donald Trump had made it clear over and over again. He's doing this to get back to the negotiating tables. And if you guys don't understand diplomacy, then maybe you will understand force. Maybe if you guys can't understand diplomacy, maybe you will respect the might of the American military. So then we can get back to diplomacy. No one wants to destroy Iran and the Iranian people. We just can't sit back and just sit idle and just let people pose threats to us. We seen what this can do in 9/11. We seen what this just did with the evaluation of Afghanistan. How these terrorists and these destructive actors look forward to defending and hurting and harming Americans and the American way of life. We see it every opportunity they get. They try to cause us harm. So why won't we take every opportunity we can to prevent them from causing us harm? This is the common sense revolution. Please, liberal losers, listen, if you love this country, please take your woke ass back to sleep.
Thing about a ceasefire, I think what he also posted was an official acknowledgement that this was war. And I think that is something that should be taken into very serious consideration.
There are a lot of Democrats who are throwing cold water on the idea that the president deserves to be impeached over this and saying that you shouldn't be throwing around impeachment given it's such a grave, serious matter. What do you say to that?
I mean, of course, everyone can have their differences of opinion regarding that matter. A resolution has not been filed, and not filed in a privileged sense. I believe that a president bombing and bringing this country into direct conflict with another nation state without notifying, full notification of Congress, without congressional approval, endangering service members, U.S. military bases, not providing intelligence is reckless. I think that, and we know that this is not a left or right issue. An overwhelming amount of Americans are opposed to the United States being dragged into war. And if we want to talk about serious decisions, I think the serious decision of entering the United States into direct conflict without any legal approval, unconstitutionally, is the grave decision that we need.
Just a moment, y'all. Just before we get to Jasmine Ratchet Crockett. Just before we get to Jasmine Ratchet Crockett, y'all, let's just try to consume what AOC just gave us. Like, why are you guys calling a strategic military act an act of war? You guys got to do that because that's the only way where the president will need to consult with Congress on it. So you guys are bending the narrative to fit you guys' objective. Like you guys always do. Like you guys are never truthful, never speak the truth. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Like this was a strategic military attack to secure the safety of the American way of life and the American people. Like these people was very close to nuclear capacity. They was gonna be a nuclear state. We know Iran can't be a nuclear state. But before we continue on down that road, let me let Jasmine Crockett inform you folks on how the Democrats feel about President Trump's actions.
But I wanted to jump on because obviously it's been bombs, missiles, all kinds of stuff. And to be clear, I've still not gotten any type of briefing. So just so y'all know, nobody's tried to call us in for a top secret briefing at all as whole sitting members of Congress, but you know, whatever. So I wanted to make sure that y'all knew that. So unfortunately, my information is not any more advanced than the information that you're getting, whether you're watching TV or if you're on social media. And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision or at least get a vote.
You're the one who's supposed to make the fucking decision. At what point did the Constitution make a House representative the commander in chief? Like, why would you be in our government and don't understand governmental procedures? Like, this was not an act of war. He did not declare war. He ordered a strategic military strike that affects the security of the American people and our allies. And boy, was it a brilliant and successful one. Man, it was cold. Man, look at this United States of America military. Boy, our man and women of our country, our servicemen and women. Boy, listen, man, we take care of business, man. All this politicking that these Vic Democrats are doing, man, our military ain't trying to hear none of that, man. Listen, we're going to be a fatal blow to any opposition, to any enemy. We're going to be a fatal blow. We're going to deliver a fatal blow to the threat of danger. We're not going to be reactive. We have a president with cojones. Now it's time to be proactive. And that is what we're doing, man. Come to these tables and make sense, because we're not playing with none of y'all, because we're not risking no life of any American at home or abroad to you guys' nonsense. Period. It's pro-American. I don't know y'all see what's so wrong with that.
Because Ron is telling me. Right. So literally, like,
For many years, Iran has defined itself in part by its opposition to my country. And there is, in fact, a tumultuous history between us.
States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world.
Now, there you have it. That's the Iranian parliament. That's not their citizens on the streets. This is their government screaming death to America. Like, I don't know what else you need to see. You're going to let these people get the nuclear capabilities? They already have the ballistic missiles. They already have the tools to carry the payload. They just hasn't created the payload. So when they create the payload, you don't think, come on. And if they don't, why will we risk it? Why will we risk it? It seemed to me to make way more sense. If we're going to start World War III, it's probably best we do it before Iran have the nuclear capacity. It seems far less devastating to attack them before than after, because if they get the nuclear bombs, they have the delivery systems. If they declare active war, we're in trouble. So why not prevent it? Like, it only makes sense to me. It only makes sense to me.